Howdy campers! Hello, hello, how are we doing? Yes, this is another check-in with some of the kit I've been wearing, and today we are looking at the Racer glove, which I first showed you in my initial impressions. These have been being used for just over a month now, and they did actually have their first track excursion the other day, and I do apologise. I don't actually have any footage of that because I'm an imbecile, or rather, I didn't realise there was an issue with the camera. But anyway, now, one of the things I initially said was when I first put them on, they were stiff and they were hurting my hands, and they were. But that, as previously explained, it actually makes me very happy. It gives me confidence in their construction. And it took, I'd say, to get them kind of fully how I kind of like them. In fact, I'm not quite there yet. There's still a little bit more breaking in to be done, but I'd say 95% of the breaking in has been done. So there's, maybe another 5% suppleness to come with more use. But right now they're still really great because they just make my hands feel safe, and that's good. And funnily enough, much like this Schuberth C3 Pro here, one thing I didn't explain in the previous video was that I am actually very, very choosy when it comes to gloves, like really, really choosy. And I've had, not to put too fine a point on it, but I've turned down what is essentially a very good deal to actually keep using the gloves I was using and get no gain out of it whatsoever, apart from using the gloves that makes me happy. So that's, I've actually done that before, and so which always used to make me a little bit kind of like nervous about trying to use other gloves long term. And I tell you what, these have surprised me, because on two occasions now where I was doing nothing to do with Bikerheadz, essentially, nothing to do with their stuff, including this, I went to had a couple of track sessions up at Castle Coombe, including that, I actually chose these, and part of the reason I think is this big, you see this big thingy here on the wrist. Feeling like a wrist is protected is possibly the most important thing to me when it comes to gloves, and that, because it has this really nice big kind of like bit there on the outside, it makes me feel that way. And not all gloves do. Some gloves are quite kind of different, and some kind of go really over the top, but to be honest with you, over the top helps as well. That helps make me feel safe. So, and that's what's important. But these make me feel safe. They're very comfortable. As well, and I like the way, which way am I going to go? Let's go this way. And I also like the way the knuckle guards are comfortable underneath, with again, with a lot of gloves, even some really expensive ones, kind of like under here, the knuckle guard, hang on, set. So under here, under the knuckle guard, can actually be quite, sorry, I just turned off the cruise control, can be uncomfortable at times. It's such a little minor whinge, but it is still a thing. And so after ages of doing that, but you can feel these are so well padded that I don't think that's going to happen. You're going to have to really mince your gloves to bits for that to happen, or overuse them, or abuse them way beyond any glove would ever be abused in, kind of normal use. So yeah, that is also quite good. Power. God, I love this thing. I'm gonna cry proper man tears when I have to give it back. Oh dearie me, what a bike. So there we go. The Racer Speed, and it's so far it is a win, and I'm actually really glad, because whilst, you know, I'm kind of, again, happy to wear the gloves that make me feel safe and that make me feel happy, up until now, there hasn't actually been many of them. Like, you know, again, I wore test gloves back in when I was a full-time journalist, or test gloves and whatnot, but when it comes to what I wear for myself all the time, it literally come down to one or maybe two gloves. And it's lovely. It's really nice to now have this, not as an option to consider, but as an option to recommend as well. And that is also very important, having different kind of options and stuff to recommend to people, because not everything will always suit everyone, let's be honest. Sometimes it's like a hand size thing or whatever. But, you know, again, if all someone says to me is just tell me some gloves that feel safe, that make it feel like your hand are in little hand safes, well, this is one of them. They're malleable enough, they're movement. You've got to think about, gloves are probably one of the hardest things for a manufacturer to make. I mean, think of the breadth of kind of, you know, all this different movement that happens with your hand and then your wrist and everything else. And all of that's got to be taken into, shit, I left my bloody indicator on, oops, look like a tit. All that's got to be taken into consideration when designing them, which makes designing something that is wearable, comfortable, effective, full of armour, all the rest of it, that's quite some job. And that's also probably why, actually, so many don't ever quite get it right. But, hello Mr. whatever that was, but these, Racer got them right. So what I'm going to do with these is keep using them again for a wee while longer. I'll see what they're like on track when they're even more, when they're bedded in even more. But so far so good. The way I can use my hands and fingers is bob on in these. And there's nothing. There's not a single like errant thread poking me in the wrist. There's nothing. They're just supremely comfortable and fill me full of confidence. So yeah, there you go. There's your catch up with the gloves. And I guess I'll check back in another month or so to give you a definitive verdict on the gloves. So there you go. Say bye glove. Bye glove.